Hello and welcome to Season 4, Episode 19 of Fabrically Speaking Live. I'm your host, Claire Rowley, inventor of the Creative Feet line of sewing machine products, and today we're going to discuss different methods of constructing a scarf using a variety of different fabrics that you may have struggled with. Have any of you ever tried to make a scarf using Minky or Flannel fabrics and had a difficult time keeping the fabrics from stretching out of shape? If you have, give me a thumbs up as I try to get the chat to work the way it's supposed to. There we go. Hello, Wendy, Christina, Linda, Judy, Amy, also known as Better Days. Welcome, everyone. So the studio fairies have been here. I had this yarn in my hand and it vanished. So I've been scrambling around looking for it and have other yarn. So I'm going to make do with what I've got, as that's all we can do, right? Did you all have a nice week? Have you got something really exciting on your sewing table that you'd like to share with me today? I bought this years ago and always thought I would love to have it as a scarf, because a lot of times I just wear black shirts and black jackets and just want something to pop. But this is a one-sided t-shirt that has kind of a flannel-y feeling to it, so I'm going to need another side or a complementary fabric to go along with this. And I have a couple options here. I have another stretch fabric, and this one actually has no right or wrong side. And I could applique a strip of this onto that, or sew it right sides together, flip it outside, and that would be the fastest way. But one of the things you have an issue with whenever you have plaid or stripes is lining up your stripes, and it's a similar issue you have with dealing with stretch fabrics or a furry fabric mixed with a non-furry fabric. There's this battle of the two fabrics trying to behave differently from one another, and so the secret to sewing with these types of fabrics is getting the two to become one and to behave as one, if we can do that any way possible. All right, my eye is twitching. I'm gonna try not to pay attention to it. I had a really fun night last night. I did moonlight, full moon kayaking, and it was delightful. So I'm going to let you guys help me choose which of these things I'm going to do. Should I do this fur with this? Doesn't that seem elegant? You guys are slow on the typing. I think I would really like a scarf with a fur lining for when it really gets cold. And isn't that a challenge to get a stretch fabric to work with a stretchy fur? And you can see the loft on this is pretty significant. It's quite fluffy. See that edge there? One of the best ways to sew these two together is to use yarn to stitch them, and you wouldn't even see it. And I had this eyelash yarn that would blend really nice, but that's the one that vanished. Here's another option we have for today, and that is this lovely sweater fabric. And it has stripes going this way. It's not long enough for me to make a full scarf out of, but I can piece this together at the neckline and possibly have enough fabric, and then combine that with this furry Minky fabric. So tell me, would you like me to go with the pastels or with the black, gray, and or we could play around with strips, but that's not what I promised. Yarn is an element that you can use to join your strips together instead of sewing seam allowances, but you can also finish the edge of your fabrics using yarn to keep it really soft and flowy, but have your edge finished, and also create fun little ends to your scarf using different types of yarns. You've never used Minky. Hello, Allison. This actual scarf here I did by also creating my own knit using the octi hoops to create that. And the type of yarn is this right here, and this is your Red Heart Boutique Changes. So basically, I have no idea how long ago I bought this, but it is from Red Heart Boutique. And as you go through the yarn, it completely changes on the strain or skein. Here it is in purple. I know you guys like that. You can see how it's real furry and fuzzy right here. And then it's kind of kinky here. And then it's more yarn or ribbon-like there. And as you're sewing along, that changes, really creates quite a lovely structure. This is something that I could actually teach at another time, this type of scarf. But you can also just sew your strips together down a scarf and sew yarn. And if you use batiks, you have no right, no wrong side, then it's the quickest and fastest. Well, that's a little redundant. All right, here we go. I'm going to put the jelly roll away. No matter how tempted I am to do that. This was another option I have. If you have little ones, a polka dot with white would make a cute little scarf as well. You love the black and gray. Would it work for you to have the black furry fabric as a wide border or binding? Ooh. See, I was thinking now you got me thinking. It would be nice to have that be on the bottoms of it. I could just do a tube of this and sew that on the bottom. That would be that would be zoom zoom. I like the way you think, because I do love that fluffy big bottom part of the scarf. Do you guys agree? If you do, give me a thumbs up. Hi, Karen from Tennessee. And Christina. All right. Wendy likes the pastels. So does Amy. All right. So the challenge with this is piecing it together, creating a long piece. And what's lovely about this is double-sided. So we could actually do the same kind of thing. We could have this be the bottom of the scarf. What do you think? So instead of trying to make this go all the way down, we could have the scarf be this, which is super soft and fluffy and got some thread-ish getting stuck on there. So it's really soft and warm, and then it's actually, we'd have the fabric going this direction on the bottom. Done in a specific way, it could actually have this end up being a pocket to put your hands in to warm them should you be stuck outside waiting for a Uber and you don't have gloves and you can stick your hands in your scarf. There's so many things we could do. So I only got one vote for the black and gray. Oh, I got two. I should never give you guys this much choice. What do you guys think of that? Having this be on the bottom. Here's the thing, I'm never going to wear this, but I will wear this. And you're going to learn the same elements. We're going to learn about matching plaids so that there's no way that they'll ever shift on you. And that definitely makes you appear more qualified. I don't need an iron today. Yay. I'm gonna need this. Black and gray. I love black and gray. Gray is one of my favorite colors. What's your favorite color? I know my all-time favorite is teal. Hence the sewing machine. And it's like, oh, my glasses are in their correct spot. Yay. And now I have a place to put my rulers within arm's reach. I'm trying to get more and more organized here. Still wish I could find that black eyelash yarn. Must not have been meant to be. It would be a little much for a fur. So how long do I want my scarf to be? Some scarves I make really long, and that's a lot of fun. But you can trip on them. You want to be able to tie it too. Hello, Madeline. Welcome. Your favorite color is blue. Does snow sometimes in your town? We get snow. Yes, we do. Prescott gets the 4 seasons. We had a lot of snow one New Year's Eve. That's what reminds me of this, because I did exactly that. I forgot to have my gloves, and my hands were cold. They were really cold, and the pockets just weren't enough in my coat. I felt like, man, if I could just, and I kind of used my scarf and wrapped it around my hands to help. I'm glad you can watch me as well today, Madeline. Turquoise for Judy. That's a nice color too. So you probably really like my Grab It. This is so old. You know, I think the year Grab It came out was the year I got mine. So I'm going to sew this as a tube, but I want to add, and I think it would be cute to have maybe a fur section for the neck and then it come out. What do you think? And then little fur ends on the bottom? Or is that silly? I don't know. So much to decide. I was thinking about making a hood. See, there's so much that we could do. And I really want you guys to start asking. What would you like me to teach you? You sure do put all the responsibility on me. Yes, on the hood, that would be really nice, huh? So I'm like, if I did a hood and then I had this coming out of the hood, but now I have no pattern. It's just in my mind. How can I do that? Not even drafted in my computer first. My eye's twitching again. It's probably not a good idea to go that wild today. We've had a controlled burn in the area for the last like 4 days. It's been a lot to endure. Much better than having a real wildfire though. So what I'm trying to do is get my plaid to line up so when I cut, I'm going to be cutting on a line. And if this is a relatively thin fabric, if I sew the two together and then sew furry bottoms, could always make a hood separate at some point for it. Too many choices for me today. So I'm looking at sewing two together, right sides together, lining up the plaids, then adding fur bottoms. Furry ends, that's a better way of saying it. So I think with a 10-inch strip, then we have the 1/4-inch seam allowance on, and that'll take a halfway. That'll be a 9.5-inch wide scarf. I think that'd be a nice size. Do you agree? If I designed this right, I could add a fur hood with like buttons, or better yet, have the scarf like feed through, so the scarf, the hood could be added if it's a really cold night, and if not, you don't have to have it. My son always gets frustrated with me because I come up with designs that you could sell. And he's like, stop doing that. Well, that's not easy for me to do. I prefer to design things that are unique. So we're going to go to the, I think I'll take it to 11 inches. Make sure I'm straight. And you can see the stripes curve, and that's because the fabric is stretchy and I have it falling off the table, and I've got a sizable amount of this. So get that to stop pulling. Of course, in a scarf, people aren't going to look that close. And most of your friends won't even care. They would never even think that you'd be worried about your plaid lining up. It's kind of like you have a freckle on your face somewhere you don't want it. Or as I talked to you guys about, did you notice that I have a mole on my cheek? You may have been watching me for years and never saw that I have a mole on my cheek. But for me, I'm aware of it. It doesn't really bother me. But people don't look for the moles in your project, and so neither should you. Right? Are you guys feeling ready for the holidays? You starting to feel the pull for making projects? It's starting to get a little bit chilly here, so it'd be really fun to create a fringe out of plaid. Ugh, so many ideas. So here's the thing, I needed to do 2 of those strips. Because I need it to be longer than that. One more cut. Good time to ask questions, you guys. Is there any sewing, quilting, or embroidery question that you have that you would like me to discuss? Hello? Anybody there? Come on. Would you guys like me to do a plushie class? Kind of teach you guys how to make stuffed animals? There was this bear called Debonair Bear, and I used to teach it when my parents had a store. And it's a bear with a soft sculptured face and a top hat and a tuxedo, and I taught all of it. So you learned how to make a tuxedo and the bear. It was quite fun. Working with satin and gabardine. Once again, that's pulling. Eye twitching. You would like a plushie class. Do you guys remember soft sculpture? The Cabbage Patch craze? Used to teach that as well. I used to teach a version of the Cabbage Patch doll. It's a lot of fun. We used to paint the eyes and mouth on the face. Now we can embroider with the octi hoops. This one is really, I think they didn't print this one straight. And that's very common now that they print fabric instead of actually weaving it, because a weave would be a lot more consistent on a plaid. But they could easily have the fabric shift while it's being printed. You made a oh, I thought it said Cabbage Pat doll. And I'm like, I don't remember the Cabbage Pat doll. I wonder if I can still get all the supplies to do that. So I'm going to show you how to match plaids when you have actual plaids. This is printed fabric, so it's not a good representation of it. I think it'd be a good length. Arm's length. And then add fur to the bottom. So as I'm thinking about this, fur is thick and heavy, and so it's gonna stretch this out, but it's stretchy, so it won't pull on your neck. Where's the fur? You want to make a Christmas stocking? Oh yeah, I have a really good Christmas stocking that I designed. It's huge. So the easiest way to do this is to make little end caps for the scarf. This is also a single-sided material, so it doesn't look good on this side. It's not furry on that side, it's only furry on this side. Oh, the fur is getting everywhere. And in this case, we would want to, sorry about that, forgot to mute my phone. There we go. So rather than having my fur be twice as wide as the scarf, I'm going to cut it so that it's the same width as the scarf and double it up that way. So how long? Oh my gosh, I'm so itchy now. I think I will use the plaid fabric to help me decide how big to make it. How many squares? Should I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares doubled over? So like a 6-inch. I think that would be cute. And then I also feel like I'm going to add maybe a bit of this to the back of the neck, because that will really keep you warm. Fleece socks. That would be fun. Could also make hats. I'm getting fur in my eyes right now. Okay, eyeballs. Well, we have Chase here, even though Chase hasn't been to the studio yet. I say yet, I almost brought him today just so you guys could see his furry little face. Oh gosh. If I can't get this hair out of my eye, I have to take a break and get it out. Ah, the joys of Minky. So you think 6 inches too much or just right? I really got to clean this ruler. It's so old, I have no idea. I think that was stick and tear that got stuck on it. A lot of times you can actually spray hairspray on fur to keep it from falling apart, but you can also put hairspray in a bowl and paint it on to the fabric before you cut it. So you would brush it on this side and then cut through it, and it would keep the hairs from falling off. You want to see Chase? It's so cute. Well, maybe next week I'll have this place ready for him. I got fur in my mouth. Oh boy. See how fast the assembly is for this? That's pretty quick. Do any of you have a guess as to how I'm going to make these two fabrics behave as one? I'll bet you do. Five inches would be better. We are going to lose some seam allowance. We are going to lose some of this. See, it's starting to get a little bit messy in here. Whenever working with a thicker fabric, you want to go wider on your seam allowance. So I may go as far as a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm so excited that I'm finally doing this. It's been at least 3 years since I bought this. Yeah, hairspray, the pump kind works really good, and I just don't have any hairspray here. So that looks too big for you guys? Would you want to wear this scarf? I really think putting a hand warmer in the middle would be cute. We'll see. Decisions, decisions. Oh my goodness, I forgot just how furry this fabric was. I used it to make some cat ears for Halloween one year, so you should check out the playlist, Claire Rowley's Creative Notions, and you'll find a video on making ears that don't have a headband, so you can attach them without having to feel that headband squeezing against your head. I'll be sharing it again in the school to remind you all of the Halloween videos that I have. Okay, well, as long as you can't see a black mustache from all of this, I should just pretend that I don't feel it tickling me. And I'm going to use the liquid base glue to join these two fabrics together. Let's see. think it through for a minute. So basically I just need to get right sides together on the ends. Got to be able to turn it right side out at the end. Now, because Liquid Baste is a water-soluble stabilizer that dries and becomes a film, I can use this. And you could even pour a little bit more of this out and put it in a bowl so you can brush on a bigger area. Must have left the lid off too long. I think I'm going to go insane from the way my face feels right now from the fur. It's quite something. All right, here we go. So instead of just doing a line of glue or dots, I'm doing a zigzag pattern going down. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I don't mean to be a baby, but I feel like there's tiny itty bitty little bugs crawling on my face right now. And then we just slide, very gently slide your finger across. And now we can join the fur to this t-shirt. And these two fabrics are going to join together. And I'd like you to guess which of the three creative feet is the best foot for sewing these together while I prepare the next. What was I thinking that I needed that? Yeah, I do need it. Now this would actually help control the fur, would be to join the two wrong sides of the fur together as well. So a nice little zigzag pattern. And you can find this at creativefeet.com. It's called Liquid Base Glue. Once again, I always slide my finger across. Just very lightly, don't push it through, and very lightly position the next fabric on top. And it's just ever so soft touch. And I feel like I'm doing something wrong, but I don't think I am. Hi, Carlene. I was going to call you. Check on you. All right, sarcastic sarcastic sisters. Time to pick on each other. Have some fun. Show everyone why I call you that. Amy's right. It is going to be the pearls and piping foot that I'm going to use for this instead of the Satinedge foot. Why did I do this today? Have you ever felt that way when you sewed something and you're like, why the heck did I choose that? So something's wrong here. My brain's going, alert, alert, you don't have side seams on the fur. So I need to sew the side seams together first and then do the gluing to the t-shirt. Oh, here we go. Pretty sure. We'll see. Here we go. I'm going to use a straight stitch and the pearls and piping foot because the tunnel on it, when you have really thick fabrics, just kind of tucks it inside the tunnel and holds it there and makes it much easier to sew thick fabrics.